going to start up again. So this next little topic is absorption fading, and what's this about? Yeah, so we said already the D layer causes absorption. During the daytime, it gets the ionization, and it stops the lower frequencies, what we call medium frequency, so that would be 160 meters, 80 meters, from penetrating. And as I said, the effect is, you'll see this effect on AM radio, where during the daytime we only get local stations. At night time we can hear longer distance stations. We also get the effect of fading, where we've got these multiple paths, where one path may be a single hop or a double hop, but both the waves arrive at the same destination, just travel different distances, and depending on the phase of the signal, the wavefront, it can either cancel out or add. And because this F layer is not completely stable, you can imagine it like clouds moving around, getting more or less exposure, changing in height. These waves, even coming in different paths, can move over time. And this produces an effect we call fading, where the signal can be, one moment we can hear it perfectly well, and another moment it disappears completely. So there's a little audio clip here which I'm going to play, and you can hear the effect of fading. This actually came from Dave, AHT, who was doing the demonstration last time on station operation. Fading out now. Going out like that. Goes out and comes back again. Gone again. Gone again. Gone completely. Really going up and down now. So that's what fading sounds like. A fairly rapid change between a perfectly good signal to something you can't hear at all. I guess some of the jargon you heard there, you heard calling CQ. We talked about that last time. It means I'm looking for you. Using phonetics, there was I gave us a report there, which was 5.7. QSL, which, remember the Q code. So QSL means I confirm contact. You might say, you might request a QSL, which is usually a written confirmation in the form of a QSL card, and then at the end he said 73. So a lot of that Morse code jargon we also use in voice communication. Okay, so more definitions. So we've got fading signals, we know what that is. Going by multiple paths, caused by well, it can be caused by a number of factors, like multiple paths on the F layer, bouncing off the E layer and separately the F layer. It could be caused by scattering off some other object in the in the sky. We'll talk about scattering in a moment. Talk about multipath, absorption in the D layer, the difference in path lengths causing the signals to either add or cancel. E layer, is when we get E layer propagation, it is somewhat sporadic. It comes and goes. So it's not. I say it's not as reliable as F layer propagation. There are times when we can get good long distance communication at the F layer for long periods of time, and it's quite predictable. Selective fading. Okay, so the next really big topic is the effects of the sun and how that impacts on the ionosphere. These things we call sunspots, little patches on the sun, and we've noticed that the more sunspots there are, the better our long distance propagation is and the higher frequencies that we can use to communicate. So we also noticed that the sun goes through a cycle where there are, every 11 years there are more sunspots, and then go away again, and then come back another 11 years later. And what we now know is the sun is actually going through flipping its magnetic field, and it goes through a complete cycle where it goes from north-south to south-north, back to north-south. It does that over a period of 22 years. So every 11 years, it's in this unstable state where it's in the process of flipping. And as it does that, you get these magnetic fields that are very unstable on the Earth that cause the sunspots, or dark patches. And these periods where the sun is really unstable, it tends to put out a lot more energy in the form of all radiation, ultraviolet, X-ray, and we get more exposure of the ionosphere, more ionization going on. So I've got a couple of videos I wanted to show. Let's see if I can bring these up. Videos. I have this in Dropbox. See if I can bring up Dropbox. Spell Dropbox, there it is. I was trying out this new thing on Dropbox called Dropbox Paper to see how it worked in embedding videos and things. Let's bring this up. Paper. Here's my population. Okay, so a couple of videos here showing what is happening on the sun. The pretty spectacular effects. This is one called Fiery Rain. Let me just start this going. Don't really need sound on that. I think about 30 seconds in it will start. So this is a so you can see the surface of the sun. Move that out of the way. And you've got this loop forming. So what's happening here is there's a magnetic loop around here. So all sorts of magnetic loops. But the plasma from the sun is following this magnetic loop, and it's projecting way out and then falling back again because of the intense gravitational field So this is like a hotspot. Now there is, in scale, the size of the Earth. So you can see how enormous this flare is compared to the size of the Earth. And as that's flaring up, it's sending out intense levels of ultraviolet X-rays and gamma rays. And that's just one flare. As with the more sunspots we get, the more unstable the effect is the sun becomes unstable because of the change in magnetic field. It causes a lot of sunspots, and we see a lot of these flares, and we see a lot more radiation from the sun. The other thing that happens, let me pause that, is a coronal mass ejection. So this is a video showing a CME, and CME is where it's actually throwing particles way out. So it's not just, so a flare is fairly localized, and it's just causing electromagnetic radiation, where a CME is actually sending particles out into space. And I don't see one yet. Move further ahead, see if we can, oh, there's one. It's coming up soon. So there you see on the right there the particles leaving the sun. And hopefully the Earth might have a glancing blow, that is, it might get some exposure to those particles. You don't really want to get a direct hit. That would be pretty devastating if we had, there's another one. That was a good one. Let's play that again. See that going up into space. So there is there was an event called the Carrington event. That's probably around 1800 or something, which was a pretty devastating direct impact of particles from the sun on the Earth. And the fear is one day we'll experience another Carrington event, because what happens, and this happened on the East Coast, I think a decade ago. We get very intense electric fields as a result of these particles arriving, and it knocked out a lot of the power systems on the eastern United States. Do you know anything about that?
No, basically, you have an intense
Right, yes. Right. Yeah. Right. As I remember, it sort of knocked out everything right down to Florida. And that was probably one of these glancing blows. If we had a direct impact, it would destroy basically all the electronics that we have on this planet. These are the effects. So here's another video showing the reversal of the magnetic field. So it shows going through these cycles. We've got these sunspots appearing on the Earth, and then it goes dormant, and we've got now a view of the inside of the sun. And you can see the red and blue representing the magnetic field, and you can see the count of sunspots going up and down on the right there. So it's now becoming unstable again, and that's starting to flip. So the magnetic field on the sun isn't like the Earth, where there's a dominant pole, but it's sort of a region that is traveling from one end to the other. So you can see that, look at that red area, it's sort of moving down towards the equator. And